Hey there everyone, welcome to my review channel. I'm going to do a review today of E-Trailer's 6,000 pound recessed D-rings, and it'll be a short one today. I've already installed them. I just want to give everybody a heads up on a few things that I ran into that I think will be beneficial for you to know if you purchase these and try to install them in your trailer or truck bed. I tried to follow the instructions closely on the video that is available on eTrailer's website, and there are a couple discrepancies. I think this model that I purchased is a little bit different than the ones that were reviewed, and I'm going to point out those differences for you. Hopefully it'll make a bit of a smoother installation for you. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you've checked to the width of the boards in your trailer if you're putting it in a trailer. My trailer, the boards are only about 5.5 inches wide, which I knew going into it, so these are going to be a little bit wider on the flange, and I'll show you that in a second, than the board, but that's okay because the actual the center part of the D-rings does fit. It's just they look a little awkward, but I plan on replacing the boards at a later date with something wider. But I just wanted to get these in for now so that I could go pick up a UTV that I'm buying. So let me show you what they look like installed, and I'll put a link to them in the comments. I bought these. They were around $134, and no relation to E-Trailer or anything. So I'm just going to give you an honest, quick review on these D-rings. So let's go over to the trailer. Here you can see that I've already installed them in 4 spots on the trailer. I bought a 4-piece kit that comes with the hardware and a metal backing plate, and if you look through the trailer gap there, you can see what the backing plate looks like. There's a couple different options on their website. You can buy them without the hardware, with the hardware. If you watch the review videos, it's an older model and they have hex head bolts on them. That set still looks to be available. It's a little tricky, but I'll put the link for the one that I actually bought, which is a little nicer because it has the carriage style bolts, a little less of an obstacle in your way sticking up if you want to slide something flat in the trailer. But the nice thing about these D-rings, and if you did any research on E-Trailer site, they do a nice explanation. I bought them because they're pivoting. They're 6,000 pound with I believe it's a 2,000 pound brake strength. So if you have 4 of these things installed properly, you're not going to have any issues tying down any types of heavy loads. Now, one of the things that I ran into that I want to make sure that you guys don't run into is if you look at the measurements on E-Trailer's website for these, on the underside, the width of the diameter of the hole, they say is 4 3/8 inch, and that you'll need a 4 3/8 inch hole saw to install these. And so I went out and I purchased a hole saw that size. I didn't have one, and what ended up happening is that size is a little too small for this particular setup. I think the setup that they're installing in their video is a little bit different, even though the measurement shows on their website as 4 3/8 inches. It's definitely not, because I bought a good name brand hole saw. I didn't get anything off of eBay or Amazon. I got a hole saw from Home Depot, just to make sure that it was actual correct size. And I went ahead and I drilled the holes, and the hole was too small, so I had to use a jigsaw to cut a little bit out of the hole, because I didn't have any other options. I guess if you had a sander that will fit in there, you could sand the hole out if you ended up buying that size hole saw. But you're going to want to go a little bit bigger if you buy this particular set. I've already emailed E-Trailer about that, but I was able to get them, round out the holes a little bit. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I would have rather having a perfect hole from the beginning to put the D-rings into, but in my case that did not work out. So I was able to get them in. The other thing in the video that I watched that's tied to this product on their website, he states that the holes for the bolts are 5/16, which is also not true with this particular set. These are 3/8 inch carriage style bolts, so you'll eventually, need to get a drill bit and drill it out to about 3/8 of an inch, which isn't a big deal. That was pretty easy to figure out. They don't come with any instructions, and they don't, everything's on the website if you want to go and check it out. But you'll need to be able to step up to a 3/8 inch drill bit. There's a recommendation in the video. Obviously, anytime you're drilling, not just for this, is always start smaller and go to the larger size that you need, and that's what I did. One really important thing that I think I should also point out is when you're installing them, you want the trailer to be as level as possible. In the video, he has it hooked up to a car or a truck, but you can level it yourself, because when you drill these holes, there is not a lot of wiggle room when it comes to these backing plates. The hole that's drilled in these backing plates, sorry, maybe you should be able to see it. The holes that are drilled in these backing plates are exactly 3/8 of an inch. So if you don't drill these dead straight, you're going to have a problem trying to get the backing plate on. I ran into that issue where I even thought I drilled these straight, but it took a little bit of finesse to be able to get the backing plate on properly, and I did have to open up the holes just a tiny bit. So you want to take a little extra time to make sure that your drill is completely perpendicular to the board before you start drilling. I tried several different approaches to try and keep the drill level from drilling through the actual, before you put the bolts in, using the top part of the D-ring as my guide and drilling straight through, and that didn't work out so well. So then I put the backing plate underneath the D-ring, sandwiched it, drilled it through, but I still ended up on all of them having to go from underneath and drill upwards a little bit to get the bolts to line up properly. In my application, obviously my boards have some spacing so you can see the metal plate, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I like the plate to be, I don't want the plate to be crooked, but if you see on one of the other ones over here that I did, the plate is very crooked, and that, it works just fine. It just annoys me that that was the first one that I did, and I didn't get it straight on. But overall, these seem to be a pretty sturdy product. I haven't strapped anything down yet, but I trust that having 4 of these will mean I'll have no problem strapping down my UTV or my lawnmower. You do have the situation where they will rattle, and you can see there's some water in this one already. So the other thing I wanted to mention, and they mentioned this in their installation video, I chose to drill all the way through with the hole saw through the bottom of the board. You can install these as recessed if you only want to drill part way. I think it's about an inch. It's only about an inch deep here. You can kind of see that. You're about an inch deep. You could recess it and chisel it out, but then if when water gets in there, there's no drain hole in here other than if there's a little bit of play where this screw is, and the trailer's tilted right now, so the water's sitting in there. But if you drill all the way through, it'll allow the water to escape if it gets in between the plate and the board, which you don't want water sitting in there. And even if you have pressure treated boards, you don't want any water sitting in there, and the opportunity for it to just soak in there over time and eventually maybe compromise the mount. But what I was saying is, these are loose, so if you don't like hearing your trailer rattle, you'll have to come up with a solution. I don't like hearing my trailer rattle, so I'll probably just take a small bungee cord and hold them up out of the way like this with some tension against the bar when there's nothing strapped down. Because I bought a trailer that has nice firm locks, and I guess I'll do a review on this trailer a little bit in a different video. But I'm happy with this trailer because it has tension locks on all 4 corners, so you don't get the rear tailgate rattle while you're driving down the road. So it's a very quiet trailer compared to some of the ones that are out there on the market. So that's basically it. I just wanted to give everybody a good idea on some things I ran into. Even though I watched the installation videos, I actually also unfortunately I stripped one of the bolts, one of these carriage bolts, but I was able to find the exact replacement from Fastenal. These are probably supplied by Fastenal, I would guess. I didn't go back to eTrailer to try and ask them what bolts they use or anything. I just did some research. So I'll put those I'll put that information in the description as well. So if you run into an issue or you want to have some extras, you can order them from Fastenal. I'll show you the one that I had to replace. It's this one right here. It looks a little different, but it's generally the same size. And I'll show you underneath what it looks like just in general when these are installed and drilled all the way through. It makes a nice clean installation. And like I said, later down the road, when these boards get a little wear on them, I'm going to replace them with a little bit wider board, so you won't have this overhang. You can install them into 2 boards so that you cover the gap. It's just a little trickier to cut out the proper size hole, but it's not difficult by any means. I chose not to do that because they do fit fine on the 5.5-inch board without, I didn't want them straddling 2 boards personally myself. But there are people that have, if you go on eTrailer's website, there's people that post pictures that have them off center like that. But I just wanted them all in the same location on all the boards and in the board itself. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any of them. And then once I put my lawnmower on here, or when my UTV comes in, which is the main reason why I put these in, I'm just waiting for it. I'll do another quick review on how they work once something is cinched down on them. So this is my first review on this channel. So if you like what I had to say and it was helpful, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to try and do reviews of just about any random product that I have, that I buy, that I like or dislike, and I'll try to keep everything 15 minutes or less, so they don't have to spend all day watching a review about something. So appreciate everybody watching, and look out for more videos in the future.